And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. I suppose during the break I should have done that quick save. We're gonna do a save. This is a test save. Second one during the stream, so we'll just name it two. The reason this is a test save is what I'm about to do, if it doesn't work, might cause a lot of problems. Which is, at the end of the last one, we upgraded our police system. So we're getting 4.8 from police to keep people happy. And that is to offset the humidifiers throughout the realm. What I want to go do is I want to stop having to, if I can at least, massacring everyone who's not Garthimi. What that basically means I need to do is I need to make enough loyalty in each territory. And I kind of need to do this all at the same time. This is what's going to make it potentially mean I break the save, which is why I made the test save. I need to make enough loyalty with everyone I'm going to take massacring off of to offset the humidifier and still keep the territory happy, which is maybe a little bit of an ask. So which... Let's assume I want to make the Tlalopi happy. I want to make the Tlalopi happy first, because we're actively trying to keep this person happy enough that we can trade with them. And they're our biggest active trading partner. So we want to go through and we want to make the Tlalopi happy. So in this region, for example, we don't think we can get away with taking the humidifier down at 2 without dropping below 600. No, I could do that. The other problem going on here is let's say we untick Tlalopi. Untick the Massacre and Tlalopi. So they're now growing. Does mean we're gonna lose apparently 20% of the Garthimi to make space for the Tlalopi. We get a -5 from the humidifier. We're getting 4.8 from the police, so that should mostly wash. Not positive titles, garrisons, walls. So I guess the multipliers hit the positives and not the negatives first, I were to guess. Okay, so if we're going to cut Massacre here, I need to cut the Massacre on everything, because the Massacre is a multiply on the positives by 0. So it's not good enough to just be nice to them here, I have to be nice to them everywhere. Fair enough. But that should math out. We're looking at the state of them being positive. In fact, they should be like 2.1 positive. Actually, no, because the other multipliers are going to kick in. Others, representative capital, representative nobility, religion differences. Yeah, okay, so let's go ahead and just... Gotta go around to all the regions, turn off the Massacre. That way I can get a better math number on if... they'll be happy. Now this is going to make it fiddlesome workforce-wise in some of these regions, because the region's going to shrink, which means I might not have enough people to work the main building. And if I don't have enough people to work the main building, I have to turn the main building down to have workforce. This is maybe a little bit of a fiddly start here. Massacre distant. Am I missing a territory? No, I don't know my territories. Turned off, turned off, turned off, turned off, turned off, turned off, 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 off. Okay. So the loyalty effect is minus 100% for everything. If I'm doing massacres. So I'm gonna have to turn it off everywhere, on everything. Okay, that's gonna make it a little bit more difficult. And this is why we did the save right at the beginning of the stream, because if this doesn't work, we're going to have rebellion. It's the simplest way to describe that. Distant Massacre. Did I miss one? Oh, no, I want to see my regions. That's... Oh. And yeah, no purchase there, no purchase there, no purchase there. Okay, let's do a manual check. So we turn them off there, 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 there. Don't control you anymore, so hopefully that one isn't applying. And there. So they've been turned off everywhere. Okay, so let's unpause for a moment. Hopefully the system doesn't blow up. "19 regions in trouble," yeah. I'm guesstimating that being the problem. Okay, so I need to free up enough labor here. I can get down to that size. And inevitably we're going to have to kind of do that everywhere, which is going to become a problem real fast, but work with that in the short term. This is coming from the reorganization of population. This is not necessarily a thing I would recommend you do in your own game. I'm doing it because I think it might make the nation better in the long run. In the short run, this is prone to bricking the run. So that's why we took a save before we did it. We were running Massacres before, and question is, can we run after? Can we get away with not running them, is maybe the question, right? I don't need to take the school off. Get you down to tier. That's going to be enough workforce for you. Gotta come down a tier. Couple tiers down on the fish. Goes up the bank and the guard. Okay. And again, what I'm hoping for is we stop massacring them, so the massacre modifier should hopefully go away. And if that does, we can start contemplating, are we going to get these regions happy? Although it might not go away. It might be one of those situations, if I've massacred, I've been a bad boy, and it's not going to go away. So, mentally I'm prepared for that, even if that's not what I want to have happened. Okay, you're still stable as you are, so I'm not going to futz with you. You're still stable as you are. You're still stable as you'll be stable regardless. Okay. So, let some more time pass. And you've shrunk enough that you are no longer stable at that level, so you gotta come down a level again. Strip the guard away. Most of the way away. Oh, that doesn't massacre modifier is slow to clear. Okay. And again, the negatives are coming up because we're losing the people to work the main building. Because they're slowly going to get replaced with a different bomb type. One option, and this is a bit of a aggressive solution. I'm going to do the aggressive solution, which is we're just going to go everywhere I don't have Workers Guild or or the police station. I'm going to completely just de-level the place. So this has got the Workers Guild, so we're going to try to keep this place as operational as possible to keep the Workers Guild up. That's good work is going to like keep that leveled up. You're probably at the point where I can just de-level you to min. So I don't have to deal with the problem of microing it as much. Now, this is something that can definitely brick the city, because we're dependent on some imports that for the duration of this transition, we're not going to be getting. Oh, I'm not going to be able to maintain the police department at max level. Okay, so that's going to start becoming a problem. Okay, let's see if that can be maintained. Build the road. Drop the U. Drop you. Drop you. Drop a tier. And yeah, I've dropped the police station another tier again. Okay. And this is a major rework. This is why we saved before we did this, because again, I think this is very, very prone to bricking it. So I saved ahead, just in case it does. And I would rather keep the empire we had than no empire. Suspiciously cheap leather. No thank you right now. You know, hopefully the stockpiles up in the city are sufficient for the near term. Not keep everything from collapsing. Rural healthcare is tempting to pick up. Although that's not going to help with the transition we're in the middle of right now. I don't think there's anything I can do in technology to help with what I'm doing right now. So I just got to be patient, and hopefully the Empire can recover. Yeah, you're going to drop all the way down to the lowest tier. Which, yeah, arguably means I don't have enough to work the Workers' Guild, do I? No. So the Workers' Guild's going to go away. That's not great. And there goes a police station. Okay, that's not good. Still possibly can bounce back from this. This is not necessarily a complete problem. Although that is maybe an argument. I think we're at the point where we need to take the humidifiers off. They're very good for pop, maximum capacity. But they are also, in the short term, very much a liability. I'm trying to get these regions stable. Because if I don't have the police stations to offset them, they do cause a lot of unrest. We still have it here for the moment. No, we don't have the workforce here to maintain for much longer. And you're going to drop down, in which case I can't run police station for you, so just take those off. You're not going to last much longer, so we're just going to ixnay everything. We'll just give in ixnay this for the moment. Oops. First one doesn't shut down, regardless of what we do, so we leave the first one in. Oh, you get the first one back. Okay, now we just wait for our regions to stop hitting us. Because we have a title that does provide some happiness, so if we're just patient enough and the massacre wears off, we'll be positive. And or the population will shrink enough that they will stop hitting us. And then hopefully this should be doing roughly the same with everyone else. Yeah. We now no longer have... Or the kin treatment is also improving. So people will begin to like us more and more as they forgive us for our transgressions in the past. Place the governor. I probably don't need the governors right now because nothing's working, but... while we're doing this, what is my highest... How's the easiest way to check hydration? These panels. Okay, let's see a good way to filter by hydration. I want to know roughly which of our cities is biggest, so that's 0.39. So say 0.3, 2.5, 0.3, 0.8. Okay, so let's start with you. We'll put police station here. That'll help a little bit with loyalty everywhere. Because it's going a little bit faster. That's a pretty decent one. That's 0.7. Police station there. 0.5. If I need to, that'll work. 0.7, that's a better one, so police station there. That's probably the best one. We'll put a police station there. Apparently the police station uses more workforce than the Workers Guild. It's a 0.7 amount of police stations, so we move on to Workers Guilds. That's a 0.7, so it'll be a Workers Guild. That's actually a really good one. Workers Guild. It's a good one. If we got a Workers Guild, put a Workers Guild there. Fairly mediocre. About average. Okay. Okay, we're out of Workers Guilds, so we'll start working up the Physician line. Get some health, because that will also help a little bit while trying to regrow. Tech-wise, I'm going to spare to grab a real health heart. Okay, so I think the decline... Everything's declined below 300 at this point. So the moment we see anything go up over 300, we're going to start rebuilding. That's kind of where we're going. Okay, you are the grumpiest. Let's send the army there to encourage loyalty. And in fact, you can see we are now recovered enough that places are able to get deposit of happiness. That is good to see, although that's due to army presence in the situation. For some reason, occupying army is very good at inspiring loyalty. So we attempt to redesign the entire empire. And yeah, some of these targets will get back over 300 naturally without me having to do anything to raise moisture. Which means we'll have workforce available in them when that happens. Yeah, by not being mean to everyone, the majority that was Garthimi before is declining into a minority everywhere, which is a bit of a shame. But we're doing this for the sake of international diplomacy. Apparently being genocidal is not appreciated by the neighbors. Appreciated by the neighbors at all. Yeah, this is one of the places that will go over 300 natively. In fact, we'll go over 600 natively. So if I'm patient enough, this place will stabilize, grow back, and I can start to get work out of it again. Of course, waiting for regions to grow was really nice when it was Garthimi, because the Garthimi just grow really fast. The base growth rate on them is like 20%. But the other populations are a bit glacial. guess we just had that much stockpiled up that like, we're running deficits of thousands a day on things, and the stockpile isn't running out anytime soon, so we're good for the moment. The biggest concern is actually going to be food. I suppose in the meantime, that is actually something we can work on. I can make more food locally. Let's expand the fishery here. Okay, I think I'm muted the mic so you didn't hear that sneeze. Yeah, fisheries are pretty easy to build. More meat production would be a bit slower. Although more meat production would be undoable either. Okay, got them clearing shoreline over there. Could do a little more on this, but we got 2 on this side going, so let that go. Get back out to the world map, see our progress up here. The army present places are happy. So if I need to, I can run the army around to places to try to restabilize places, but I think we're otherwise decently good. Just waiting on population to recover. Sadly, glacial again, because they grow really fast, but they're apparently the minority in most of our regions. Or one of the minorities. Thinking about it. Some of these places we're going to get distance modifier. If we're far enough away, and I'm not having something in them already, let's drop a road. So 1 layer road got you to 100%. That's good to see. I would rather upgrade the Workers Guild rather than build a road here. So you're a good prime candidate for road. You're at 100%. It's because one of the numbers in the calculation here was distance. There's proximity. Distance, yeah. So I need 1 more road someplace else to max out the realm, I think. Because each road provides a local bonus and a realm bonus. So I didn't necessarily need it here to get 100%. I think that's 100% everywhere. again, the goal of that helping to get everyone happy. Although oh, you've got the tax rate up. Turn the tax rate off. During this mayhem, no one pays. Well, everyone pays minimum tax. Now we just wait for them to recover over 300, so we can get some stuff out of them. Again, gonna add more fishery. Because it's quick to build and provides a decent amount of fish. Decent amount of food. Could probably flood the islands as well to get a little bit more, but I'm not going to. Again, the best would be to get back out of the regions on the world map. Yep, that's gone and cleared up pretty nicely. Like so, we're adding more fishery. Okay, 17 fishermen. Big storage over here. Here we go. That'll work for that one. Probably another one south of that. Here we go. Another fishery, ready to go in. Anyway, this is the rate that's sort of burning through the food, although we're burning through the food pretty quickly, and I think that's going to make a big enough difference, honestly. And then we get some more bolted crawlers going up here. Want some down here? Probably do want some down there. One down there. Not actually going to fit in there. Unless I want to take it outside the mountain, which I don't really want to do. Okay, that'll work there. This one over here is going to require me to put a little bit of a tunnel into it. Like so, and that should work otherwise. There might be a couple places where it makes sense to do sort of custom ones to get them to fit in the hole. People were not smart and got themselves trapped. They'll untrap themselves. And I have to be patient until one of our places get to 300. Then I'll have more workforce to actually do stuff with. And we are also waiting for, again, that Massacre modifier. It'll go all the way down to 0 if we give it enough time. By the looks of it. And that combined with, as we get workforce back, we're also going to improve the police stations, which themselves will provide more loyalty. So yeah, when we get the next size, we'll be good to go. Most of the places where I put them, I'm going to get not just the next size, but the next size. Yeah, this one hit the lowest happiness, but it's hit the point where this one should actually be gaining happiness at this point. Slowly but surely. Fisheries in. I can go a little bit farther south, but I'm not gonna bother. How's the housing situation? Probably pretty terrible. Yeah, I need to build some more houses in here. I don't think that hole is going to be big enough to take the housing block in it. Probably is big enough to do sort of a micro one like this. Yeah, that'll work. Not the best, but it'll work. And a little more housing. Put a housing block down here. And yeah, at the moment we're kind of got the city on life support. All the taxes just evaporated. We're now kind of dependent upon that that trade I set up earlier. So I'm happy I set the trade up. Hopefully this has made a big difference in diplomacy. Yeah, I could probably even turn you down a bit. Okay. Free up some of these espionage points. Oops, no, not that many. Try that. Although the targets of the flattery is starting to burn off, but the kin treatment's improving so much, I don't think that's a problem. And then we'll invest those 86 points to you. See if we can get another trading partner going. Yeah, okay. Suppose one thing I could do... What am I most worried about? I'm worried about running out of fish the most. So we can go around to our regions, the ones that don't have anything. We can start having them ship fish. It's temporary way to make sure the city is being fed. What does that do to the food deficit? That helps. That helps. Slows the rate down we're deficiting. Currently we have 17 days worth of food, if we had no income, so we're not too worried about running out right now. A little worried about that region's loyalty. Can I get the army to march over there? Inspire some more loyalty. Really? Don't go that way. That's like the wrong way. Don't march through don't trespass the trading partners, please. Okay, so you've made a particular region. Selfish. Rump here with me at the benefit of they provide more stuff. I'm not sure if I appreciate that right now, but because they don't produce anything, so 50% more of nothing is not particularly useful. And yeah, as we get them bigger, they'll grow faster, and then I'll have more ability to make them better. It's just that all these growth multipliers are based off of the current population. So 10% of that might be yearly growth too. So 10% of 27 is 2.7 potentially per year. So a bit slow. But as that number gets bigger, it goes faster. Got plenty of knowledge. I could technically grab Empire 1-5. I could technically grab the embassy. Yeah, I think we want it to be service needs, but I'm not improving the service needs while we're waiting for the Empire to recover at the moment. So sorry, it's gonna take a little while. I might intentionally run this part a bit long just to get the Empire recovering properly. I was actually expecting this one to be the one that can get there quicker, because it was at 190, but still in the 190s, and we're up to 204 here. And then as far as diplomacy is concerned, I believe opinions improving with everyone, yeah. Do you want to get to 2.5 with you to get colleague? Sure. In fact, they might be nice to get up to high enough to get alliance, so I can come in here and take the territories in the interior. Oh, now we're starting to see some good growth. Patiently waiting for the recovery of our lands. Because people moved out far faster than the people moving in. It's basically the best way to think about it in the territories. Popping in the town. We are low on fish, but we still have 14 days of food. Probably have 100 more odd jobbers than I need. Let's actually set the limit lower. So people die off for various reasons. We don't have to refeed them. Got you coming along for more food. Got you coming along for more food. But those are both going to take some time. Getting the imports from the world is probably the best solution. Just that requires the world to recover. The Empire to recover from the trauma of ending the monoculture. Okay, you're getting a bit low. Got that region to sort of recover in happiness, but now we need to move to a different location. But they miss being tax-free. Yeah. And what I was supposed to do is some imbalance. We're actually generating for some bread. Not that I think many people are eating bread. Suppose I could let the slaves are set to be allowed to eat bread, yes. Although I'm probably not stocking the food stalls. Yeah, so they have to go to the warehouse to pick it up. Probably not doing that. Almost at 300 in some of these. And again, growth is going to pick up the bigger the city gets. Because a lot of these growth multipliers are multipliers on who's in the city already. And also one of the things we'll be adding to the city as they get bigger is more target growth, so they'll be growing more from populations that stop growing, like the Garthimi, which are maxed at the moment. You can hit 600 without help, so I probably will expect you to maybe actually hit 600 without help before I give more to the city to make it happy, or bigger. More to the city to make it bigger. First city to make it 300, so size 2. I'm going to upgrade the police depot. One step. Improves loyalty across the entire realm. Oh, and this also currently happens in the army here. We're probably going to be the next one. The improvement of the Workers Guild, which provides more labor elsewhere. Here we go. So it's 300. Up, and the Workers Guild can actually take it to 3. Massacres are about 2/3 of the way forgiven. When our governors is passed, replace him. How much do we need for the workforce? Do we need for the 3rd level? 10. Okay. Sorry for the not very much commentary here. We're kind of waiting for time to pass, and I've got the game going as fast as the game goes at the moment. Waiting both for the populations to regrow and waiting for the Massacre modifier to go away. I think with the Massacre modifier going away, we can start contemplating going back with the humidifiers, which will help with growth. There's the next one. 300, oops. And PlayStation. And this is one of the reasons I'm running this one long. Try to get most of this pain out of the way in this episode, and then we'll be back to hopefully a little bit more engaging content in the next one. Either because the city's collapsed and I've gone back to the old save, or because we finally finished this process and let's have a much more functional city, or functional empire. Okay, our grumpiest region is you. Okay, so we're gonna start the slow walk of the army over there. Again, that really doesn't difference. It's definitely not helping with keeping the regions happy. Yeah, it's gonna look like it's gonna be fairly hard to actually get the humidifier. Didn't realize the most of the modifier is actually hitting the negative side, or actually not hitting the negative side, but reducing the positives. It's also going to do a bunch of religion conversion. We're maybe not going to get as much growth as been hoped. After the redesign, you can level up. And of course, PlayStation levels up. You can level up. Let's just level PlayStation back up. How much do I get from the next tier? 12. Okay. So that's enough to get the next police building if I've used up what I've got here right now. So let's use what we've got right now to get more growth going. Not much, but a little bit more growth. Our growth targets, we'll get a little more off of the faster growing pops. Barely moved the target. We're up to 759 there, okay. Twitchhat's asking, hello, can Tloppies even train in melee? On the overlay, it says 20 of 20 are training, but XP stuck at 0. Yeah, they can train in melee. I don't have any in my army right now, so it's hard to show. And I don't have it in city either, so that's going to be hard to show. Usually, so this is the city overlay, right, for the armies. What usually your city will do is will do the minimum training. So this is an example of a guy who's got minimum training, which is 10 days. So it'll train everyone the first 10 days to get them deployed in your city. After that, it will then start trying to train the training. Right, so this unit is under strength. It's set to... Oh, and you're also asking about XP. Okay, so let me explain that a little bit differently. So melee training here, you can see we don't have a full unit here. They're not at 100%. But they're at 19 of 20% training. So these guys are set to train to 20%. So they're 19 of 20% training. Out in the army, I can show that out in the army. Your army has a stat known as experience. I think technically the city garrison does as well, but the experience represents their actual combat experience, not their training experience, but their combat experience. So if they haven't seen any combat at all, they obviously can't have any experience because they haven't seen any fighting. Like this army, this is the replacement army to the one we lost in the previous war. So this army has no combat experience. It has not seen any fighting at all. But it does have melee training. You can see it's technically set to train to 73%. It hasn't existed long enough to train to 73%, but it's set to train to 73%. But it has no experience because it hasn't fought anyone. So in your example, right, you've got Tloppi train, and you can train them in melee, because XP is not training, it's actual combat experience. And then you've got army, and it says it's 20-20, so you've trained them in melee, and you've actually trained them to what you set them to. So you set them to train 20% training, and they've hit 20% training. In this case, I've set them up to train at 73%, and they've only made it to 34%. If they stay stationary long enough, they train. And these guys aren't set up to do any archery training, so they're not getting any archery experience. That makes sense. Okay, these guys are ready to grow. That's good to see. So we'll grow up a level on you. How big are these guys again? So this is the size they're stuck at unless I start throwing more stuff at them. At the moment, I'm not going to throw more stuff at them. I'm just going to grab more fish off of them. Give me more fish so that the capital starves slower. Same here. More fish, so the capital starves slower. Okay, let's pop back into the city. Gotta free a couple more slaves to try to stabilize the slave issue again. Increase. Free a couple more of them to get this mission up again. Your archers training went, but melee stuck at 0%. They're training the building at 0. And it's been over a year. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, XP and training are separate. And yeah, to be fair, the training takes a while. And in fact, the training, basic training, so to become a troop, takes 10 days. Yeah, if that makes sense. The basic training to become a troop takes 10 days. Whereas the additional training levels takes more time. So these guys, for example, are being trained at 20%, so it's every 10% is another 10 days. So training them to like 20% is going to take them 30 days to be fully deployable. And again, your units tend to train lowest training to highest training, just to get them through the building quicker. So you can see all my guys who are set to minimum training are actually trained mostly, and it's actually the more experienced units that are still depleted from the last fight. Because getting that, or the more trained people are still depleted from the last fight. Actually, if anything, probably means I just turn their training down for the moment. Doesn't need them to actually train. Quicker to be deployed. Yeah, definitely need increased food production. Although that's what we're working on, so. You know, I will do sort of a organically shaped pasture in this portion of the mountain. Yeah, that's what we'll do there. Take them all to carve out. And Twitch chat saying, the game is a little overwhelming, probably in response to me talking about the training stuff. Yeah, it can definitely be. I'm being a little overwhelmed here with trying to fix the nation after trying to stop being genocidal. So we've got a whole bunch of regions recovering from massacring off all the non-Garthimi populations. Which in a way is its kind of own bag of fun. go for a little more fish here. More food I can get into the capital, the less the capital is going to be starving. Well, you're not going to, without any growth, you're not going to hit the next target. So, give you some growth buildings that will get you to the next target. I think you're hitting 300. Oh, you're not even going to hit 300 by yourself. Bit of a shame. Oh, the tiny little area on that one. Yeah, that's fair. Place emissions becoming a problem again. And we can delay that becoming a semi-serious problem to freeing a couple slaves. I have to say, the humidifier is really harsh on anyone who's not Garthimi. Because of all those other modifiers, apparently. Trying to encourage all this stuff to grow a little bit more, and or grow a little bit faster. Oh, this is paying off dividends, I think, for the international diplomacy. Stopping the genocides on all the other population within our realm. I need to turn... Where is all money going? Just attriting away due to attrition? Or due to inflation? Yeah. And me spending it in the realm, okay. Got an alliance with you. Could technically sign an alliance with you. Sure. Don't have enough yet to sign an alliance with you. I have enough to sign an alliance with you, although that's too expensive. Colleagues are even too expensive. I don't have trade with you, but I can sign one. Oh, actually that would be a downgrade because you're already on colleague deal, okay. Get a trade deal going with you, these guys. I'm not sure how well that will hold, but we'll sign it. More people buying our wares helps stabilize the prices. India. So, ending the massacres definitely weakened the empire in raw population, but is making international diplomacy a lot easier. I'm not sure which... well, I don't necessarily like there's such a great gap between the two from a gameplay perspective. It's very much you are friends with everyone because you're not doing the horrible thing, or the horrible thing just works the friendships. Okay, let's get the next tier there. Anyway, we got basically 2. Oh, and we're at the point where we don't have the diminishing effects from sleep simulations becoming a problem, because of course it is. Yeah, so it's a bit annoying that I can't do that to get our population really going, because that will just tank everything else. Because of how the other multipliers are kicking in, because they will kick in on the left side and only the left side. Not sure if that's a particularly great balance at the moment. Okay, that at least gets us up to the next target in growth, so we can keep that city growing. The city's not producing anything other than growing, which is a bit of a disappointment. Next is another 30 workforce. Another 30 workforce would be enough to get us to the max police level. Oh, and this is where you get the army station, so let's take the army out of it for a moment. And see if the region's still happiness stable. I might try to raise taxes there. Yeah, well, the taxes going up. Okay, that's not good. Glorious Nation of Vernick. Not quite rich enough to buy them out, but we're not far off. And they're small enough that if I had to go fight them, I could kick them in the face and take their stuff. So we're just gonna tell them no to their demand. We're not giving you that stuff. This region's almost back to 100% happiness / loyalty, however you want to describe that. Game calls that loyalty. I think oh, I suppose it is loyalty here. In the city, it's partially also happiness. Happiness is a derivative, or loyalty is a derivative of happiness in the city. Okay, so here let's just raise taxes, and yeah, we can get away with that because of the power of the police force. Place you. Oh, wait a second. Let's go down to 600. Just allows us to improve the police force more. And the growth building more. Actually, with the growth building not upgraded, are you getting over 12k? No, so you need that growth building upgrade. Although now you're slated to get over 12k, which means we can max out the police force there when you get there. Okay, you're 90% happiness. Get you marching over to these guys. Almost at 300 there. Oh, you broke 600. Let's get you up a size. Improve the work guild to maximum level. That's good to see. Growth up. Ah, darn. Not quite going to be making it to 12k. That's a problem. Unless I drop the... If I build you up a tier, go to that tier, that gets me 17k, but we're getting complaints about health. There's 12k, that fixes the health problem. Okay, we'll do that for the moment. And yeah, we've been about an hour and a half. I think this is a good place for a part break. The Empire is starting to come back together. We're mostly going to still be trying to recover the Empire in the next one, I think. Food situation, I think, is still deteriorating in the capital. Negative 600. I think we can recover that fairly easily, but that'll be in the next one. If you're watching on YouTube, that will be tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, that'll be after a short break, so I can get up, stretch the legs, sip some tea. So until the next part, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.